Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are just about a week or two away from Amazon Prime Day, and GPUs are finally starting to come back into stock. So it's a good time as any in the past recent history to build a new computer. So I'm going to take a look and just kind of see what's out there and try and build a PC at three different price points. So this video is going to be all about what I would build at the $1,000 price point, the $1,500 price point, and the $2,000 price point. So stay tuned, we'll dive right into it. So we're gonna start with the $1,000 build. So gonna try and get full PC, $1,000 before tax, and get like the most optimal performance system for that price point. So we're gonna cover the three different price points in the video. The first one we're gonna start with is the $1,000 system. And these are gonna be gaming PC focused. So it's not gonna be necessarily like creative work focused or creator PCs. If you guys are interested in that, I can make a future video following up, but we're going to cover the three price points of 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000 with just gaming PC focused hardware. So for the $1,000 price point, this is most likely going to be the 9600X, which you can get for 175 bucks, which is a fantastic deal for that processor because it's not going to take a lot to cool it either. So, and then also, if you guys live near Micro Center, go to Micro Center. They have awesome bundles. So you can go to their website and then you can go to Top Deals or PC Parts, click AMD bundles, and you can get a really great deal on a CPU, motherboard, and RAM. So if you are lucky enough to live near Micro Center, definitely consider that for getting these. You can get a 7600 X3D, which I just built for a friend. Awesome gaming processor, $399 for all three of those things. So save yourself a bit of cash. The 7600X, you get with an MATX board, kind of a, low tier one, and 16 gigs of RAM, 250. But I definitely wouldn't recommend building with 16 gigs of RAM in 2025. I don't think that is a good call. But anyways, keep that in your back pocket if you do live near Micro Center. But for the purpose of this video, we'll consider the fact that you don't live near one, and this is everything that you can get online. So for motherboard, we're gonna do the B650E or B850. We'll throw X870 in there as well. We're sort low to high. We're gonna go with a full ATX board. You might be able to save some cash going MATX, but you can get some pretty good deals here. What I look for mainly on motherboards is I want like an integrated IO shield. I want a nice VRM heatsink. I'd like to have two M.2 heatsinks. Not the end of the world if you can only get one, but I would like to see two if you can fit it in the budget. See what this, and you definitely want to have Wi-Fi included as well. This board actually looks pretty solid. Only one M.2 heatsink, but you get Wi-Fi, has the IO on it. IO is pretty decent, only one USB-C, but you got everything else on there. How much is that one? 179, that's not bad. The Tough B650. So this one has an M.2 up top and down low. So two heat sinks. It's got USB-C, 2.5 gig Ethernet. And this one's how much? 189. So we might be pushing it at that price point in the $1,000 build, but we'll put it in there. And if we have to downgrade from that later, we can do that. So like I said, 32 gigs of RAM is definitely what we want. The sweet spot for AMD is 6,000. We want to be under 100 bucks for sure. Okay, price low to high. And we definitely, if we can get our latency 32, let's see here. This is a little bit more expensive. I think this went up $5 from when I checked the other day, but this is what caught my eye was this, what is it? It's the Silicon Power Value Gaming. It's 6,000 CL30, so it has pretty tight timings. And that's kind of like the sweet spot speed and latency for DDR5 on an AM5 platform. So for 87.97 with a $5 promo, it brings it down to 82 bucks. So we're gonna go with that one. It's got no RGB, no frills on it, so don't expect much there. And then for storage, going with just a terabyte here, we're gonna go with a Gen 4 drive. And this PC is really just to get you going from the console, like a PS5 or something, to that next level and getting yourself a desktop. So this is gonna be your entry point. And the cool thing about PC building is everything's upgradable. So as you wanna add more storage, you wanna upgrade your CPU or your GPU, you're able to just do that. You don't have to wait till the next console launches. So we're gonna go with a Gen 4 drive, M.2. We're gonna sort low to high, and then we're gonna go for a 1 terabyte drive. So, okay, and then this is the one that caught my eye when I was doing some research here, which is the Clev for 50 bucks. I mean, $5, another $5 promo on Newegg, total steal of an M.2. And it's gonna be plenty fast for what you need to do. So 1 terabyte drive there, we got storage covered. Now we're gonna look at GPU. So at this price point, you're gonna be looking at the $200 to $300 range for GPUs. Right now, probably you're looking at either a 5060 or a 9060 XT. And let's see down here, 9060 XT. Okay. And we're going price low to high. So if you can, you definitely want to go with 16 gigs of VRAM. You can go 8 gigs, but you're going to be limited to probably playing mainly 1080p. 16 gigs gives you a world of possibility. You can start dipping your toes into 1440p gaming, which is what I think the sweet spot is. So let's see what the cheapest 16 gig card is. It's out of stock, unfortunately. But $349 on that one. I mean, that would be kind of ideal for us. Let's see the next one that's in stock. ASRock Challenger or the Power Color Reaper. This, I think, would match the all black aesthetic here. It's only a 2 fan, but it's available soon. Let's see if we can order it. Yep, you can order it. You just got to wait a little bit to get it in. So we'll go with that one. So $369. So we're getting tight on budget, guys. We're at $877 before discounts, $867. So we have 130 bucks to try and finish out what we need here. So we might need to make some sacrifices on some things to get in at a cheaper budget. But let's go with case. Now, if you're on this tight budget, another thing you got to think about is the cost of fans. So if you can get a case that has fans included in them, that's going to be huge for you. So I know Montech has really great value cases, so we're going to look at them. This Montech XR for $69.98. That looks pretty good. So it's going to have 3 included fans, so 2 intake and exhaust. If we run an air cooler, this is going to be great. And you do get a little bit of RGB there. So if you're into the RGB thing, that's going to be a nice bonus for you. Okay, so we're at $937. And then we'll go with the power supply. You really don't want to skimp on a power supply. That's one thing that you don't want to replace as you go up in graphics card and your system starts to require more power. So we're going to go with at least a 750 watt. I'd like to get an 850 watt. We'll see what we can sneak in here. And we want it to be modular too, because we don't want a bunch of cables in there. Okay. So let's look at this Cooler Master one for 90 bucks. You got Montech again. You got Thermal Take for 90 bucks. 750. The Cooler Master is 850. I do like that. It's got a 4.5 star. Let's see how this thing's rated on Amazon. 4.4, 2,400 reviews. Free delivery today. Let's go. All right, we're going with that. So we are over. We're at 1,027. We still need a CPU cooler. So let's see what we can do here. CPU cooler. We're definitely going to want to be on the lower end. Let's see if we can fit an AIO and then shave some price elsewhere. So 240 AIO from Thermalright. These things are always a pretty good deal. We got 45 bucks on this one. It's the Aqua Elite. Might match the rest of the case nicely. We'll throw that on there. So now we're at 1,072 bucks. So we're over budget by $72. So there's a couple places that we can try and take this from. The motherboard being primary, if we can get that motherboard price down and we can keep the GPU with 16 gigs of VRAM, that's probably what I would recommend. So let's take a look here and see what we can do motherboard wise. Motherboard, price low to high. We want an MATX, or sorry, ATX, not MATX. Let's see. So the cheapest one with an integrated IO is this Gigabyte B650 Eagle AX, which I think that means it has Wi-Fi. Yep, it has Wi-Fi. So we saved a little bit there, and this board should be fine for this build. Okay, so now we're down to 1,042. Where else can we cut a little bit? So we could shave a little bit from probably the case and the power supply. I would hate to do that. We could probably shave 15 bucks by going with a cheaper CPU cooler. Let's see here. Let's go Arctic. Let's go Thermalright. We probably get like the Peerless Assassin or something. Pretty cheap. Let's see here. This looks pretty sleek. And it's 24 bucks? Wow, that's pretty good looking. What are people saying about this? How does it look in a system? It's a terrible picture. Looks pretty good. All right, so let's do that. Let's go with this thing. Looks awesome. Kind of looks like the Noctua D9L, to be honest. All right, now we're 21 bucks over. So we could try and get a cheaper case and see what we can do here. Let's see here, Game Max F46. Looks like it includes fans. It's got a top mounted power supply, so it's a little funky there. Don't love the look, but it is an option. Let's see what else we got. Salmon, thermal take. $60. That doesn't really save us much. There's not a ton out there that's cheaper than that. What do these Zalmans look like? This is the cheapest case on the market, pretty much. Does it come with fans? It's got 0 front airflow, though, so I don't love it. I really don't love that. This actually looks not bad. It's got 4 fans. You have plenty of airflow in the front. It looks like a mesh airflow, nothing special, but it's got 4 RGB fans. And I think it comes in 10 bucks cheaper. So we're at 1,011 bucks. You could go with a slightly cheaper power supply. but I really don't want to go cheap on that. So we're gonna call it here at $1,011. Borrow 11 bucks from your friend and go with that. If you can, spend 1,100 bucks, we can get the slightly nicer motherboard. You'll have a little bit more options when it comes to case, and you can get that $50 AI. So definitely a ton of options there. But we're gonna call this our $1,000 build. So save as, and I will link all these parts lists for you guys in the description too. So this is the $1,000 build, June 25. All right. Cool. So now we're going to work on the $1,500 build. Okay. So we're going to be able to hopefully get a more powerful CPU and a more powerful graphics card in here. Okay. So we'll start new and we'll start with the CPU. So when you're starting to look at the $1,500 build, you're going to be looking at more of an 8-core processor. Still going to go with AMD because they are just far and away better for gaming machines in 2025. So the AM5 platform also, it should give you a ton of longevity. You can, they have a much longer socket life than Intel has had, and you should be able to stay in your CPU platform or your motherboard platform longer and upgrade that CPU as needed. So you can go with the 7800X3D, which is 360 bucks. But I think that either the 7700X or the 9700X is going to be plenty for what we're looking for. And the 7700X for 240 bucks. I mean, that seems like a steal, and it'll be super fast still for gaming, especially with the graphics card we're going to pair it with. Okay. And then we're going to try and go a step up for graphics cards. We're going to go with a 5060 Ti 16 gig or a 5070. Let's see how cheap we can get these. So 16 gig, the cheapest one is 429 bucks. A step up from that, 5070. Can we get an MSRP 5070? Talk to me. We can. We can get a $549 one. Wow. Newegg, 150 bucks off on a promo on this. Promotional gift card with purchase. What is that? What is that all about? So that's not, you just get a gift card to buy more stuff. I guess if you're buying more stuff from Newegg, that'll work for you because you can buy some of your other parts. But then you got to wait for it to come in. I'm not a huge fan of that. Let's see. A real $549 one. Okay. That's another Newegg promo. Here you go. $549 PNY 5070. Boom. All right. So we're going to do that. Motherboard, we're going to go with another ATX one. And if you want to build a small form factor, you're more than welcome to do so. But we're going to try and go with a slightly nicer board on a slightly nicer build. So we're going to look at kind of the price point we were at before. I really actually like the one that we had in there before. Asus B650E for 189 bucks. And this is going to do everything you need it to do. And it's still sub 200 bucks. So we're going to go with boom. Okay. Now, memory, I don't think there's any, unless you want RGB or something like that, there's no real reason to go with a nicer kit than what we had. But we'll go with first word of 10. What is the slightly, is it like, what's the cheapest G-Skill kit we can get? 100 bucks. Okay, we'll go with G-Skill. Huge fan of G-Skill. Their memory's awesome. Usually can push it harder than other memory. They're just super reliable, tried and true. Okay. Storage, we're gonna go with that 1 TB Clev again. Okay. And if we have room, we might throw an additional 500 GB SSD in there. So that way you can have a separate operating system drive from a game drive. But we'll see if we have room for that. Okay. A case, we are going to go with, there's actually a really great new Lian Li case that comes with fans and gives you kind of that fish tank, more premium look, and has 4 fans included for 95 bucks. So we're going to go with that. Okay, power supply. We'll see if we can get the new Lian Li one, which I just used in my system. I'm a huge fan of, and I'm pretty sure that you can get it for around 100 bucks. Edge Gold, 850 watt, 127. Damn, this was 109 bucks. Oh, 850. Oh, that was a white one I was looking at. Okay. 110 bucks for that. Okay. And then a CPU cooler. So you can go with a 240 AIO and keep that 7700X nice and cool. Let's see, right? So Thermalright, we can get the this Frozen Infinity one, which if you ever got the Infinity looking mirrors, that's only 47 bucks. So that's a pretty good deal there. What about this? Arctic Liquid Freezer 3. I wonder how much a 360 would be. Let's get rid of 240s. Let's see if we can put a 360 on here. Thermalright Infinity. Where's the Infinity version? I don't see it. We're up in like the $80 range down here. This one's got a screen on it. Huh. A screen for 80 bucks. It's pretty impressive. Kind of want to try that. I don't know if I can recommend it right away just because I have no experience with it. I don't know if that screen's actually gonna function. Do they make this in black? Sold out in black. White's not gonna work for our build. But if you were going with a white one, that would work. All right. Well, we can go with a Thermalright, 360, 50 bucks. I mean, that's a pretty good deal right there. So that covers pretty much everything. We can actually add some more storage in here. So we can throw a 2 terabyte on there. And we're right under 1,500 bucks. So you get 3 terabytes of storage. You get a 5070, which is only 12 gigs, but it's still plenty for 1080p and 1440p gaming. And 8-core processor, 360 AIO. You got heat sinks for both of the M.2s. You get 32 gigs of RAM. So definitely a really nice build. And we had 25 bucks to spare. So you can spend that 25 bucks. You get some nice cable extensions on Amazon or a fan controller. And that's really going to help you like have a nice clean aesthetic. So super happy with how the $1,500 build is looking. So we're going to save this as $1,500 build, June 25. All right. So now we're going to be going from this to a $2,000 build. So what we'd want to do here is just get slightly nicer, right? So we could go from the 7700X to like a 7800X 3D. And then for graphics card, we can probably fit in a 9070 XT. Let's see here, sort low to high. We want a black one to match. We got this Gigabyte gaming one, which is looking good. Okay. So now we got another 215 bucks to play with. The storage is still plenty for what we need. That RAM is plenty. What would make our build look a whole lot nicer would be a slightly nicer cooler. Let's see here. We're gonna go 360. Okay. We're gonna sort high to low. We don't want to overspend, so we're limited to 200 bucks. Let's see what is out here for 200 bucks. You get the NZXT Kraken, you get a screen, it's 180. Let's see if there's any better options. I'd probably, like a Be Quiet silent loop would be a great bet. Ooh, Hydro Shift. And that would hide the tubes. That would make it look awesome for 175 bucks. I like it. Let's take it. Okay. And we still got another 90 bucks to play with here. So we can now upgrade our motherboard as well. And we can go from that motherboard. So we have $280 budget. We'll go high to low. We'll sort sub 300. Okay. We're gonna be in that $280 range. We got the Asus B850. I'd like to get more in like to the X series. Let's see here, X870, and we'll do an X670 as well. X870 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. This is a great board. Boom. So we're at 2,010 bucks. Again, we're 10 bucks over, but borrow $10 from your friend. We could easily trim that out with going with that other RAM that I talked about. That was 20 bucks cheaper. That would help us. But I think this is going to be a great looking system and really nice price to performance. You get 16 gigs of VRAM, you get the 9070 XT, which trades blows with a 5070 Ti at a much better price. And you get a 360 AIO, you get a 7800 X3D. This system is absolutely gonna rip. You get 3 terabytes of storage. I mean, this is a really, really nice spec PC for 2,000 bucks. So we'll go more into high-end PCs later. We can do creator PCs, and we can do like a $3,000 or $4,000 budget. But I think that, the 3 builds that we just overlaid is going to fit 95% of people and what they're trying to do. And I think all 3 of them, none of them had less than 12 gigs of VRAM. So plenty of VRAM, plenty of future proof if you want to get into 1440p or potentially 4K gaming. I think this is going to be a great bet for you guys. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'll have all the part picker lists linked down below. So if you guys want to pick out any of these parts, I don't have affiliate links set up, so I'm not getting paid on any of this stuff, but I'll have it all there for you. But let me know if you end up picking any of these up. Prime Day is coming up July 8th through the 11th, so you guys will be able to potentially get some of this stuff even cheaper, save some more money. But if I was in the market for a price point at any of these builds, these are the parts lists that I would be looking at. And I think that you're going to get the most for your money performance-wise with these. Maybe not aesthetically speaking, but performance-wise, you're going to get the most for your money with this setup. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.